What's up, gamers? I'm Britt.
And I'm Josh.
And welcome to another episode of Gingerforce Apocalypse, the podcast.
GPAP.
GPAP. This is a very special episode, potentially a two-parter, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh yeah. We've got this great little PowerPoint presentation I put together, and we're just kind of gonna go through a brief history of consoles and our experiences with them. Now, this isn't a comprehensive list. I want to make that abundantly apparent. Again, this is not a comprehensive list. So if we missed any, which I'm sure I did, hit me up in the DMs. Let me know what consoles you played that I missed or that you think just really need some extra attention, and we'll just make another little episode about it.
Sounds great to me.
Sweet. Now, some of these will have dates. Some of them will not. But we're going to get into... If you're going to not full screen it, that's annoying.
You want to slideshow it?
I know. I just wish F11 worked for everything. A brief history of consoles.
Featuring
Robert
Brittany and Josh.
Jr.
Yeah. With some fun feedback from our editor and sound guy, Garrett.
That's my name. I don't get to be Muffin Sincere.
Well, no, that's his name. He's Muffin. You're Garrett.
Well, that just sounds
You're Player Zero.
I'm Player Zero, guys.
Player Zero.
My new gamer tag. I'm writing it down immediately.
God damn it.
Player... Do I put the number or just type the word?
#0.
Garrett's socials are coming soon, don't you worry.
It's Player Zero.
Okay.
In the year 2035.
It's gonna be the word zero with a zero at the end instead of the O.
That is so genius. I can't believe no one's thought about it before.
Mind blowing.
Just... Alright, we're gonna start off strong with the daddy of all game consoles, the Atari. What about... This is a lot of people's first ever consoles for good reason. This is literally one of, if not the first gaming console ever, to come out for, family fun time. Did you play Atari as a youngin'? I know you hate the way I word things sometimes, but we're just gonna keep rolling.
I did not play this Atari. I have played a Atari. Not the one with the big blocky controller, but the skinny controller with the 2 buttons on the side.
Okay.
And the joystick.
I know which one you're talking about.
That was about it. I played... What is it?
What are some memorable games?
Adventure.
Adventure? I can't say I played that one. Which one's that one? How do you
run
play
around
Adventure?
as a little pixel dot.
Naturally.
Through different rooms, and as an adventure, essentially. And your goal is to find keys and finish the game by getting into the castle. If you've ever seen the movie Ready Player One,
I'm familiar with it, just colloquially. I've not actually seen it or read the book.
in the end of the movie, they're playing Atari and they're playing Adventure.
Aw.
And it's like a fun, sentimental, tidbit at the end of it. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to spoil it too
Please
much for
don't.
you.
I really... I was going to let you for a second, and then you were like, oh, well, no, that's just kind of like a cute little bit that I'm sure contextually is a big deal, but you didn't provide,
It is.
You didn't provide the context, which means spoiler-free.
To some people, they're like, he mentioned it, but...
Fuck, he played Atari at the end? I can't watch this movie.
No, done. But it's great.
Good.
What about you?
I think I remember playing this at I think my babysitter had it, because his kids, the one was a little younger than me, the one was a lot older. So he had the Xbox and all that, but the dad had an Atari, and I do remember playing, I think it was Asteroids. That one where you play as a triangle and you shoot at asteroids.
Asteroids was fun, yes.
And my favorite was Pong. I loved me some Pong. My sister and I would play that. Yep, boop. Boop. But my sister and I would play that so competitively up until we realized the point, if you don't move the joysticks and you just keep them both, you keep your paddles like this, the ball will just bop back and forth forever.
Yeah.
So
It's
we
an
were
infinite game.
So it was literally like a game of chicken. Are you going to move your joystick? Not until you move your joystick. And we just sit there for a little bit until someone around us was like, okay, actually play the game or do something else.
They got bored of just watching the pixel thing.
Yeah, these girls are literally just not going to do anything, so they need to do something or get off the TV.
Yeah, that's valid.
Tracks. All right, what do we have up next? NES. You ever play NES?
Not on the console.
No.
Different ways of playing the game, but yes.
Piracy.
Piracy.
God damn it, Josh. Where's your pirate hat when we need it?
I don't have one.
We should get you one. We need some.
We have
Maybe it's back at the Muffin Den.
The Muffin Den.
We actually have a ton of NES games on the right side.
We do. Where? Let's see. Let's pull out some old school. Let's pull these bad boys out. These are no. Are these ones? No. Which one's this one?
The game?
No. Which console does this go to? I want to make sure I'm pulling out the right games.
It should, let me see it.
I
can't really see.
Just based on the shape of the game. Or no, this is before they put the ones. Is this Super Nintendo? Yeah, this is for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Okay, no, this is gonna be it. Because it literally says Super Nintendo Entertainment System. NES.
Well, it is an NES, but not the Super version.
No, it's not the Super, but put that back where it goes. Look, I'm trying here. I need help. Remember, I didn't play this console.
Neither one of us did.
Nope. So we're looking at some history here. There we go.
I have every game under the sun.
I just remember having to blow into a cartridge on the the Super Nintendo.
That's where just blow it to make it feel better comes from.
Yep. So we've got some good ones here. I don't know if they're good ones. We got Super Black Bass, a fishing game.
Mm.
We got Paperboy 2. Garrett, did you ever play Paperboy 2?
Yeah.
Tell us about that one. I'm not familiar with that game.
Well, you see, you're a paper boy.
Uh-huh.
Very descriptive.
You deliver papes?
You throw papers like the first one
Oh.
at people's houses while dodging obstacles.
Interesting.
That's adorable, and I love that. I want to play this now.
I can feel your emotions overwhelming me.
So overwhelming. Well, it's cute. I like those kinds of games. And I want to, just for the record, before y'all call me out, yes, I know this says for the Super Nintendo, but still, this is for the Super NES, but it still counts. And this is Paper Mario. Is it Super Mario or Paper Mario All-Stars? Super Mario All-Stars. Paper Mario didn't come out till later, but yeah, this is Super Mario All-Stars, a classic game that I've never played. But so I guess we can. Garrett's the only one who has actual experience playing this.
Jurassic console.
Now that
I actually have a very old man mentality when it comes to gaming.
Then again, let me skip forward one. No,
My main boy.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have any experience with this except for vaguely knowing what it is.
Yeah.
So, not much to go off of there, but I've heard very good things and very good games.
It's very, very enjoyable when I played it.
This is about where I didn't start gaming here, but I have actually played this.
This one was my childhood.
Good old Nintendo 64.
I never touched that until I was 10.
Oh, it's
The first game I played was Super Mario World.
nice. That's the good shit right there. That was a good game. I actually did play that one.
My mother did not like games.
Uh-huh.
No mother
Because
does.
she thought they were too violent.
Mm-hmm.
So the first game she got us for the Nintendo 64 was a game called Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh, good God. I can't wait to play that
She
game.
thought it was an adorable game about a squirrel who would look around and stuff like that. And when we were playing, it was we were doing the versus mode, and she thought we pulled out binoculars. It was a teddy bear versus squirrels, and I was a squirrel and he was a teddy bear.
Uh-huh.
One of my brothers. And he pulled up a scope and started looking at me. She thought they were binoculars. She didn't see the switch over. And she's like, "Oh, that's so adorable!" And then he blew my head off. the graphics at that time were beautiful, so beautiful. And I was like, I can't believe you shot my fucking head off. Because they swear like sailors in that one. And
Wow.
yeah.
Could you imagine?
She just
Right, I
went
couldn't.
pale. That was a great mistake she made. But she bought us the game and she was gonna let us play it.
Look, as the daughter of 2 naval officers, I could never. No, that's beautiful. I love that. That's like getting your kids Grand Theft Auto, but thinking it's a racing game. Like,
Yeah, well.
did she not see the rated M for mature? Did she not know what that meant?
Oh, hell no.
That's so
As a
beautiful.
mother
That's
of that time period.
oh, that's beautiful.
Obviously, that was when I was born, 1997.
Yeah,
So,
Same.
you guys are as old as the
We
N64.
played the
Aw.
old stuff.
I'm only a year older than the N64, so I can't talk too much. Well, what was would you say Conker's Bad Fur Day was your favorite N64 game?
Oh, hell yeah.
Fair
By
enough.
and far. There were good ones, like GoldenEye,
Gotta love.
007. When you got the golden pistol in multiplayer and you're like, I'm God! And then somebody shoots you or you miss and you're kind of feeling bad now.
I think we have GoldenEye over here somewhere. Let me
Uh,
see if I can find it. I'm not gonna take forever looking for it.
the Pokemon tournament game. Played that.
Isn't there
Oh,
one
no.
where you would be
Hey,
able
you
to...
Pikachu!
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't there one
Hey,
you can talk to
is
Pikachu?
the one where you just screamed at Pikachu because he never did what you wanted him to fucking do, and you're just like, turn left, you little shit! Bubble hit him, he turned right. Wrong way! That's all you could hear in the morning,
That's
day and night.
just it's 3 a.m. You're trying to play Hey You Pikachu.
Use Thunderbolt! Use Thunderbolt!
And for the
It's not Thunderbolt!
wait, was there a microphone on this?
Yeah, it was a microphone.
Huh.
You'd yell into it and a bubble started to form when you were making words, and then the bubble would fly out and hit the Pokemon. And yeah, if you were not clear with your instructions, that Pokemon did nothing for you.
That's fucking beautiful. I remember. I think I played. Was it Mario Kart or whatever the earlier iteration of what was it? At a friend's house once. I had this group of friends up in Ohio. Well, they had it before I joined, but I joined in late. They called themselves the Game Nights with a K because we would all play. We'd all play video games on game night, so game nights. And it was adorable and wholesome, and our friend Gerald had all of the consoles, all of the games. So some of us would be in the corner playing like N64, some would be in like GameCube. Some of us were just on the PC playing PC games. Those were good times. That was like right at the end of my high school career. Those were the good days.
Nostalgia.
And these were, in case just for demonstration, this is another cartridge game. We're not in discs yet. And this is Diddy Kong Racing. This one's rated kids to adults. So this is everyone's gonna play this
That was
game.
a good one. Yeah.
I think
I'm sorry, is this a Blockbuster label on this cartridge? If the console cartridge alone wasn't nostalgia, this Blockbuster label is enough.
Wait, did y'all just did return that, didn't
If
you?
this label is
That
broken,
was-
you must purchase this video. And it has covered the entire back end of the
Which one
cartridge.
is that one?
That's which one?
Blastcore?
Turn it towards me.
You look like a hazmat person?
Ah, yeah.
The man straight up stole this game from
was
Blockbuster.
not
You're the reason why
That was
Blockbuster
not
shut
me.
down.
He was literally like 10.
You're the reason Blockbuster shut down.
1997, man.
Oh, Duke Nukem
Oh,
64.
All the Zeldas. Zelda's actually one of the first games I actually beat.
Really?
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
That was for the N64, right?
That was for the Nintendo 64. That was one of the first ones I beat. And I'm not gonna lie, when Ganon came in, I was terrified. I didn't understand anything that was going on. And he started slapping me around.
I mean, same.
I had like no arrows left, so I pulled out that grappling hook and I just ping, 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 ping. I'm like, I'll fucking kill you with a grappling hook, you little shit.
Did you? Did you kill him with the grappling hook?
That's actually how I ended up beating him.
Nice! I've literally never played Ocarina of Time.
It took an hour of me shooting him with a grappling hook to beat him.
That's fair. You know, dodge, grappling hook, jump, dodge.
Hook, line, sinker.
Hey!
That was a time.
I like how these games, I think it's important. Nintendo 64, we all know it's a great little console and it's very popular for a reason. And you can tell because people are excited. Like, I can just tell on here, just based on these titles, people are excited to get their damn games on this console. Because you've got Star Fox 64, Duke Nukem 64, Donkey Kong 64. Like, if it's got 64 at the end, you know you're about to play a kick-ass game.
I loved all of those games.
Yeah.
Like they were my children.
Never played a single one.
To describe,
I was one of the worst gamers you could ever meet. The gamer kids.
What, worst in terms of you played it too much, or worst as in you were...
Too much. You can't tear me away from that screen without me growing into a tragic fit.
I mean, yeah, that's gamer rage for you.
It was a tragedy. It was straight up a tragedy for me.
Yeah. Yeah, this is that good. This is really what started it all for a lot of folks, particularly. I mean, you can't see it on camera, but I'll illustrate it for y'all. Our editor Garrett, who is obviously engaging in this conversation, is just looking over at this pile of 64 games like he's looking at his long lost love, just wanting to see her one last time, rekindle old flames.
That's very, very old I am in the ways of games.
Very, yeah, sure.
I am an old man.
Except GameCube, God.
Only system you could beat somebody to death.
you
just
could
grab the handle, start.
I forgot it had a handle. It was.
You could probably play this thing while you're hitting people.
Probably.
Quit squirming! You're tangling my cords. Smack.
Let me see if I got a GameCube game over here. I just like this for illustration purposes.
I think as far as GameCube games, I played Need for Speed.
Really?
If there was a Need for Speed game on there. I don't remember if there is.
I think there was one.
Played Need for Speed. I believe Tak and the Power of Juju was on there as well.
I played the one I remembered the most, besides Melee. The one I remembered the most was actually, I played Lord of the Rings. I played Lord of the Rings, and we did a whole group thing where we'd switch out who did what quest and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up with the battle of at the Black Gate. Out of the two endings, I ended up with the battle at the Black Gate.
Mm-hmm.
One of my brothers did Samwise and Frodo versus Golem, and it's like this weird epic boss battle that they did with that guy. I don't know how they made Golem way more epic than the battle at the Black Gate, but like you have to like throw him off a cliff and stuff like that, and it's like this WWE wrestling match, except you're stabbing at the fingers because they won't let go of the rope. You're like, get the f down.
This was actually where, like, chronologically in my gamer history, this is where it started. I did not own a GameCube, but my cousin did. And whenever he came over, you reminded me the freaking GameCube had a handle on it. It was meant for portable play to take to your friends' houses, which I think is such an important detail. Nintendo likes friends. But no, he would bring it over to my house, and I remember the first game I remember taking note of that he was playing was Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem, which I know I've talked about on this channel before and on the show before. But man, if my sister and I were not just behind him watching him play this game, enthralled. Like, it was so spooky ooky. Like, we weren't doing scary stuff. We didn't watch horror movies or anything. So Scooby-Doo, that shit was scary for us, but in the enjoyable kid-like way. So yeah. Mom was okay with us watching it and playing it. And after he left, that one day we just became enthralled with this. We would not stop bugging our mom to get us a damn GameCube. And because we wanted to play that Scooby-Doo game so bad, and we wanted to try it for ourselves, and Nick wouldn't let us. he was a gamer boy.
Yeah.
He said, "See you later, girls." But yeah, he would play. He would play a lot of games over there, and I remember we'd also, I think my friend Ariel, her older brother had a GameCube, so I did play Brawl. I've played Super Smash Brothers on there. That was an early one I played. But I think the important thing in terms of my personal gamer history was the fact that, as I mentioned, my sister and I would not shut up about this damn GameCube to our mom. We're like, can we have a GameCube for Christmas? How about for our birthday? How about for Easter? How about insert holiday here? We just want this GameCube. And we did not get a GameCube, but one day Mom, whenever she'd do like these little surprises for us, they'd show up like after school normally, and there was a PlayStation 2.
Oh, fun.
It was, and I was a little disheartened at first because I was like, that's not a GameCube. And but yeah,
Doesn't get a GameCube,
That's
but
the
is
problem.
disappointed about a PlayStation 2.
was not.
That's the problem with kids.
And that is
Oh
the problem
my
with kids, but
God.
hear me out. We were still excited. We're like, well, that's not a GameCube. But it was a gaming console, and she got us that and a copy of Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem. So we obviously
Hey,
You still got the game.
she did deliver. No, I was an ungrateful
Mom
little
only
shit.
did it
I'll
right there.
I'll call myself out there. I was a little bit of an ungrateful little shit when that PlayStation showed up.
I would have taken that thing away immediately. I would have started playing it in front of you guys.
Yeah.
Well, no, we were still excited about it, but we're like, well, it's not a GameCube, but it's a
That's
game
where the problem
station.
You can have Mystery Mayhem. I'm gonna play the PlayStation.
Well, no, as soon as we saw Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem, we're like, fuck it, let's go play. And then we played it at night and scared the pants off of ourselves.
Grateful.
But we did. We played. We didn't express it. Obviously, we were like, "Wow, Mom, thank you. This is great." Because it was. It's a fucking
I'm
PlayStation.
just yanking your chain. I was the same way.
Well, yeah, we're all ungrateful little shits when we were like 8. But
I'm glad you enjoyed the game.
It's gonna be fun when Ellie's born. And you were grateful. Wait a second.
wait a second. But no, we played the shit out of that, and yeah, I was always disappointed when Nick would come over and he wouldn't bring the GameCube because we're like, but what game are you playing now? We wanted to know.
Just you wait. Your kid's gonna compare everything to Fortnite.
Oh God,
No,
no,
she is not gonna
It's
know
gonna
what
be the
Fortnite
first
is.
thing. She's
no.
gonna be like, oh my god, Master Chief from Fortnite! I watched the light dye in your eyes.
I would lock her in the closet with freaking lore books from Halo itself, being like, "You're not coming out till you know who Master Chief is."
No, your wife's gonna come out being like, so with a progress report going, sweetie, hey, babe, let's get in here and look at Ellie's report card. Why is she failing everything? I thought she was studying in her room every night. She is. Halo lore.
Tell me, who's the swarm?
I
Then you haven't studied enough.
Who's Cortana? I don't know.
How wouldn't you know the basics?
don't know. You're no daughter of mine.
Dang. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Every time I ever heard, there was kids that said something like that to me once.
What? You know, son of mine?
This guy from Fortnite. So what I started doing
Oh,
with that
yeah.
kid is I would actually I think it was like my cousin. Every time he would mention a character from anything, I'd be like, "Oh, from Fortnite."
Mhm.
It messed with him so badly. He hated me for it.
You're a
He's
good
like,
man.
No, he's not from Fortnite. I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, he is.
Well, that reminds me of my...
He did things
yeah,
like
go on.
Scorpion from, from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
He loves Mortal Kombat more than anyone. And the first thing I said was, "Oh, from Fortnite?" I've never seen a kid get so mad at me for it.
Oh my god, it's a little bit off topic, but that reminds me of my brother's like old man moment, as I would call it. I don't know if he calls it that, but this was like years ago in like late 2000s. We're hanging out and he mentions that he overheard these two girls talking in like a gas station or whatever, because "We Are the Champions" from Queen was on the overhead speaker, and they had just recently done that on Glee. So their response was, "Who are these old guys singing Glee?" And he was like, "Oh my god, I am not gonna hit a child today."
I would have. Excuse you?
Like,
You have no idea who you're talking about here.
I had a super old man moment when I was younger.
yeah.
In my art class, I made a paper mache mask,
Mm-hmm.
and it was in reference to the man with the iron mask.
Right.
And when I told people about it, I was like, "Oh, it's from the man from the iron mask," and people were like, "What's that?"
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, in my moments, I thought about it. I felt like 1,000 years old. I felt like I went from young to old right there and then. I was like, back in my day, you see, there was a movie on what you call VCR.
Oh my gosh.
It is not an acronym. I swear.
Nowadays,
It was an acronym, but
it was, but no, nowadays the three of us are like, back in my day, you could hit your best friend up in the head with the GameCube while we were playing it, and we had fun doing it.
good old GameCube.
We salute you, GameCube.
Indestructible. All the YouTube videos of you coming out, rolling down mountains, hills, getting tossed off a building just to show your indestructibility.
And I love the discs were so little. They were literally like this damn
They were like pizza
big.
cutters.
They were like pizza cutters. You could use one as a pizza cutter.
GameCube was will always be Nintendo's greatest creation.
It really, and honestly, even the GameCube design or the look, design's great. I love a good square, but
It's not a square, it's a
the
cube.
whatever.
Whoa, don't diss the cube.
We don't diss the cube in this house. No, I was talking about the controller. Like, I love the design of the controller. Even nowadays, when I'm playing Smash on like the Switch or literally any other console, I actually really suck at that game if I'm not playing with a GameCube controller. Once that GameCube controller is back in my hands, I'm just kicking ass and taking names.
The GameCube controller to this day.
It really, well, because you've got the one stick for moving, the yellow little nubby for like special attack moves and all that. Then
you didn't have the 3-prong thing where you're like holding one of them from the previous one beforehand.
The
Right.
Nintendo 64 controller.
64 controller.
yeah, that
The nightmare.
the nightmare that was a little joystick right in the fucking middle.
It also had a button underneath the joystick, so
That's where you used to aim in GoldenEye.
yeah.
We love you, GameCube, forever in our hearts.
Word.
The Wii.
The Wii.
See, I did own this one. This was like top notch in gaming technology in 06.
At the time.
There was
Yeah.
2 games I played on this one.
What's that?
It's 2 games I played all the time, and that was Smash Bros. Brawl
Good stuff.
and Wii Sports.
Yep.
Oh, I love Wii Sports. I could play. Wii Sports was actually a really special game in my household because, like, playing like any other video game, you know, even starting with Scooby-Doo, the graphics were more like 3D. There wasn't a lot of 2D, like, side-scrolling action going on there. A lot of that was just my sister and I playing games together. My mom would try to, like, spend quality time while we were playing those games, and she physically could not do it. Something about the graphics or the fast-paced motion, she couldn't watch it. It literally, like, made her nauseous or something. But with Wii Sports, the 3 of us, my twin sister, my mom, and I, could play video games together as a family, because damn it, did my mom love Wii bowling.
Bowling was the shit, man.
I was partial to Wii tennis. I loved it.
I love
All you had to do was just
Well, no, it was great though, because if my sister and I would get really up close to the net, the both of us, and just with the ball, we got. It's a good thing we had that wrist strap, or we would have broken so many TVs playing that game.
Now, aside from Wii Sports, did we ever play Resort?
I did.
I never played Wii
I
Sports
love
Resort. I wanted
It had a little
to.
brick that you would plug into the bottom of the controller, and it made the controller like this long. and you would have to like hold the controller flat and use that as a motion sensor for everything in the game.
Yeah.
The main part of Resorts was the sword fight game,
So good.
where you're going up a whole mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And in Wii Sports, the boxing game, you know, when you get further into the game, you're beating up the what's his name, Adam,
Something
the black guy with the mustache.
Yeah, I remember him.
Okay, at the top of the mountain is Adam.
Oh no!
And a fully decked out samurai armor kit.
That's beautiful.
And like the longest training sword possible, and you have to beat him to beat the mountain. He slaps you off in 2 hits.
That
Doesn't matter how good you are, you have to like sit there.
block everything.
Everything.
Block and dodge. Block and dodge.
Yeah.
All while there's like 5 other people swarming in, so you're like the entire time just knocking people off, and then Adam's just like, "Hey man, coming for you."
I'm going.
Coming for you.
Loved the Wii U. It was amazing.
I love the Wii. I remember the main games I was obsessed with on it. I did play. Oh, what was it? There's like some Sims Island game I played on there. I love me some Sims. Or Avatar. When that movie came out, I think 3 years later.
The Last Airbender.
No, the Blue People. James Cameron's Avatar.
Mm.
There was a tie-in game where you played as Na'vi and you're literally fighting against RDA and all of that. And I loved it because I mentioned this before as well, but one of my favorite mechanics in any game, like especially combat-wise, is archery. Mm. And it was for me, it was very immersive. It was very cool to just take my little Wiimote, click that back B button, and just mess people up.
That was pretty cool. I admit that was pretty unique.
It was dope. And also the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I loved those games. Especially if you had a balance board, you could actually do like the slalom. I didn't have the balance board, but thankfully this was in a time before Family Video decided it was going under. And thanks streaming for that. But you could rent like balance boards and DDR mats from the video store, and I would, and that was I remember, I don't know why I insisted on doing this so many times, but it was a competition between me and my girlfriends at sleepovers who would stay up the latest. And so I remember nursing like a single bottle, or multiple bottles probably, of Mountain Dew as I played Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games from sundown to sunrise.
That's insane.
And my friends were sleeping on the bed, and I'm like, yeah, more Mario and Sonic for me.
Looks like it's my turn again.
Because it wasn't enough for me that I stayed up later than them. I had to see the sunrise. And I had to be awake when they woke up to brag.
Hey guys, I got the top score for all of the region.
For all the region.
I played out you tonight.
Yeah, the Wii was I love that. Or I never broke my sensor bar, but I do remember that being a common issue with the console. But some brave soul figured out that if you just light a candle and put it on your TV, it works the same.
Yeah.
Because of the infrared.
It's mainly the issue was the cable. It was so tiny.
It was a small cable.
It could snag on anything, and it would snap right off.
Quickly.
God helped you if you had cats who just...
It was so unnecessarily long.
It was
long so you could feed it along the edges of furniture to hide it from animals. Because if an animal doesn't see it hidden in the trim, they're not going to go after it.
Nobody did that.
I did that with everything.
Nobody did that.
I do it with everything consistently now.
Good man.
But, I mean, the best part with the Nintendo Wii is you could play GameCube games on it.
I
the
forgot.
discs.
Really?
You can slide them in there and it would play them.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I forgot about that, actually. That's pretty...
Actually, now I remember. I played Skylanders.
Yeah? I remember Skylanders being big, but I never played it.
It was pretty big. I loved the Skylanders itself.
Mm-hmm.
The boss battle was really wacky at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I hated the portal.
Yeah.
So much. Because it didn't plug in anywhere. It was purely battery owned only. And my mother would not buy batteries. so we could never use the portal.
No.
We did. We would get the batteries every now and then, but they just died so quickly.
That sucks. See, I never gave Skylanders a fair chance, and y'all are not going to be surprised at this at all, but the main reason I never gave Skylanders a chance was what they did to Spyro's design. I hated it. I don't like how Spyro looks in that game.
So, fun fact, if you've got an Android, you can make any of those things. There's codes on a website that you can make any character for Skylanders. You can have Finn, the human from Adventure Time, just pop up in the game. You can have Peter Griffin running around. You can have Shrek if you wanted to. As long as you have an Android and a reader, you can make it.
Wasn't there a Shrek party game for the Wii? I think I remember playing something like that.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a Shrek game for the GameCube.
No, there are a couple Shrek
You
party
fought
games.
against my most memorable scene was when you fought against Puss in Boots when I played that.
Nice. So another hazard of playing the Wii was playing with friends, because I think my sister and I have definitely knocked each other in the head a couple of times with that remote. Doesn't matter if you got the wrist strap on. If you get just too close, you just go.
Mm-hmm.
I have not hit or thrown it at anybody.
That he can remember.
I've been hit.
He has been hit, for the record.
I have been struck.
We've actually been very fair, and I've always put on the damn strap. So
Good. That's safety first. Always wear your wrist
safety
strap.
first. Plus, we didn't play games too much where you fling your hands around like a maniac.
That's fair. And this is a little thing, but I did love it was easy to tell who was which player in any given game because of how the lights lit up in here.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just a well designed little Wiimote.
And it didn't stop at 4.
If you push plus on the Wiimote while you were playing Smash Bros, it was a taunt.
Nice.
Taunt button.
Did y'all ever play? There's like a photo editor on there too. It wasn't like a good one, but it was a photo editor.
Oh.
It was cute. I mean, that was another thing. Like, obviously, a lot of things you just beg your mom for because you want it. But we put our like vacation photos on like an SD card, and you could put it into the Wii and just like scribble on it and put stickers on them on the Wii. That we had fun doing that, and it was cute. And it was a really fun way to show off. Like, we'd have our friends over, and we'd just come home from Tennessee visiting our dad, and we'd just pull it up on the Wii and go, "These are vacation photos," like a slideshow.
I remember our mom bought us a Wii. It was in the apartment for maybe a year. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, I have to get rid of the Wii. And we're like, well, why? And she was like, I just have to.
What?
No exact reason. It was just, it has to go. And then after it was gone, she was like, I just didn't like the games that you guys were playing. And all we were playing was Wii Sports, Wii Play, and Resort.
That's messed up. I'd hold that against her forever.
There's a lot of things that I hold against my mom in my childhood.
Many things that ruined my childhood.
But like it was brand new out the cellophane wrapped box, just right there.
Actually, I remember the last 2 games I played. The first game I played was on the Wii. It was actually Lego Star Wars.
God, I love Lego Star Wars. I played it for the DS. God, that's awesome.
And then the last game I played was a game called Contra, I think.
It rings a bell.
Game where you fought off like alien hordes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty amazing. I actually loved it a lot. I don't know if they ever got a second one because they ended the first one on like this crazy as hell cliffhanger, and you're kind of like, well, that's weird. But I beat that one and never actually seen if there was another one.
I think this unlocked a little bit of a memory. I'm like, how did I acquire my Wii? Because I remembered how I got it, but not how I was introduced to it. And I remember now, my Uncle Joe and Aunt Donna had come up from Florida, and they had just gotten this console, I guess. Or I think maybe my cousin Nick had it. Again, he was anything he played, I played. He was a big influence for me in those games. In my gaming history, I should say. And I remember the Wii was present at Christmas. I remember that. And we just had a blast taking turns playing on it. It was like the new shiny thing. And they obviously took it back with them. And we were like, man, we all had a lot of fun playing that. That'd be a really cool console. And then that April, because it was around Easter time, my dad surprised my sister and I as like an Easter gift. We took it home with us, and it was great, and I loved it so much.
I've thought about going back through all the consoles that I've had and going to this website called DK Oldies and just buying all of them again.
I would love to do that. That'd be so much fun.
They're expensive.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, I think a whole Wii package, like a Wii U, is like $349, something like that. Comes with like 20 games, controllers, everything.
That's not so bad though when you think about it. The console, all those games, and the accessories.
Yeah.
But $350.
Like,
it's not so bad.
You can get a whole Wii for about $190 on there. So like,
fair enough. Well, yeah.
Any console you buy from the 2000 age, you can mod. Just throw ROMs on there. You never have to buy the games again. As long as you don't mess up the modding process, you got millions of games for free.
Solid.
Pirating.
There's naughty pirates on this show. Alright, we're moving on to the Wii U.
Garbage.
I never played it. I saw the commercials for it. I had no desire for that console. I had my Nintendo DS. I had my Nintendo Wii. I felt no need for that console, and I think I remember it's not an appealing design.
No, not at all.
The nubs.
This is the baby Switch before the Switch was even thought of.
And the Joy-Cons, or not the Joy-Cons, you know what I mean, the joysticks are way too high up. And it's just... That's my fond memory of the Wii U, is saying, no thanks, I don't want one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Smash Bros. Wii U.
Yeah.
Although many people disagreed with that ideal.
Mm-hmm. Hot take.
And I think that's fair. I mean, Brawl was better. Brawl was good. That's yeah. The main game I actually liked from it was Zombie U and the Pokemon fighting game.
I remember those, like hearing about them, obviously.
Both of them were very enjoyable for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember much else about it. I disliked the ending to Zombie U. I felt like you should have been able to fight the Queen with a minigun or something like that. Something like off the wall and crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a pretty scary game throughout the whole thing.
Right.
And you had to it was dark in the room, and you could hear the zombies, but you didn't know quite where.
Mm-hmm.
And the game didn't pause. You had to look down at your gamepad for your backpack instead of at the screen. And it added a form of tension because your character was looking through the bag while you had to look up and down to figure out if a zombie was about to get you or not. So it added some cool, intense moments to it. I just felt like I deserve a reward, and fighting the Queen would have been one of them.
Absolutely.
The Queen of England.
Now, y'all said it was the Switch before the Switch was conceived. I'm seeing this here handheld device and this here more console-looking device. Was this one you could do handheld and on the TV? Or just handheld in this thing?
You can do it handheld on all the
I think it was more of a hybrid. They
hybrided it. You could do both.
But the main thing was this is essentially a DS that was slapped onto the TV.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat.
That's
any extra thing
it
that would happen.
Too easily.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I hated about
So
it.
what do you say this would be about the start? What do you okay, so the GameCube's indestructible. The Wii
I just like the Wii because they decided to downgrade its strength.
Yeah.
But I understand that you were not going to take the Wii into a nuclear apocalypse.
You take a GameCube,
it was still
though.
pretty damn tough for what it was.
So
right, that little reader though, the laser on the inside,
yeah.
Broke way.
it was failing way too quickly
So-
for that.
So would we say that the Nintendo Wii, as great as it is, it's a nice console, and it was definitely an advancement in technology.
No, GameCube was the creme de la creme.
No, I
This
agree.
was the pinnacle, and it went downhill from here.
That's what I was getting at. Is the Wii is about where the console strength. Nintendo started losing its reputation for its strong consoles.
About 8 out of 10 muffins.
8 out of 10 muffins.
That's fair. Yeah. I could see that.
And we're giving this -2 out of 10 peaches.
You can't give negatives, but yes, it's pretty damn low.
0 muffins.
Zero muffins,
It was
0
pretty
peaches.
bad. When you only enjoy like a game,
Yeah.
you don't really.
Hey, I need this $300 console so I can play this $60 game, and that's it.
That's definitely not worth it. You gotta...
Here's the thing. This came out when I was starting high school. And if you can't impress like a 13-year-old or like a 15-year-old with a video game, you're in trouble, buddy.
True.
Essentially, you just sold a glorified Game Boy with a disc drive separately.
So wait, the games went into the disc drive and it was a handheld?
Yes.
So you couldn't like take the handheld with you on car rides?
No.
What's the point?
It was all tethered.
Wait, it was tethered?
Yeah,
What?
It wasn't actually. It was wireless, but there was a distance you could only go.
You could, like, if the main drive was up on the wall.
There were some things that could make it so you could take it out of the. There's like apps and shit that you could use to make it so you could take it on, like, while you played it. And stuff like that.
I think,
but
yeah,
it went through too much work.
For sure.
So.
I could see, to play devil's advocate for it a little bit, I could see what the appeal would be, though, if you've got the console and the handheld. Would be, say, if Dad wants to watch the football game, but if you want to play your video game, you can just change the input and still play your video game while Dad's watching the football game. But it doesn't sound worth it based off the work you guys are saying you had to put into it to make that work.
Mm-hmm.
And also, yeah.
Not worth it.
Straight 0.
Okay, 0.
Downright terrible.
No muffins, no peaches. Let's move on.
Bad game design.
Bad game design, too?
Yeah, I mean, the one game I liked.
Yeah,
Like
the zombie one?
Zombie U I actually enjoyed. But other than that... Well, and the Pokemon fighting game, that was too small, had too little content, and...
Sounds really rushed.
Didn't go anywhere. I wish it did go somewhere, honestly. That would have been...
It did go somewhere, though. In the trash.
For like an actual fighting game. Because, Jesus Christ, that was actually enjoyable.
Next on our... The Game Boys. I lumped
The
these...
Game Boy.
I lumped these ones together because they're... it's similar concept.
You're on the Wii U.
What?
Is she on the Wii U on your screen?
No.
No.
There we go. It just up on my screen.
Okay. So we're getting into some Nintendo handhelds.
That right there is something you were allowed to take out and play.
That was the good shit.
That was the stuff.
I had every single Game Boy.
Nice.
So I had the first one.
Yep.
I had the color. I had the SP. I had the micro. And I had the fat one. Every single one of them broke.
How do you break
The micro,
these?
however, is still in my storage unit. My dog chewed the cord and I can't find a replacement for it.
Oh, shit.
And it has a Jimmy Neutron cartridge in it.
God, that's beautiful. I loved Jimmy Neutron.
But
We
think about the word micro, though. Sorry. It's smaller than the cartridge. It's literally this big. Like, if y'all see how...
Yep.
This is how big the Game Boy Micro was. The cartridge was the entire Game Boy.
That's wild.
It was pretty weird.
Yeah, I never had that one.
It's these right here.
Mm-hmm.
When I played Pokemon the most, I couldn't beat any of the Pokemons because we only had one Game Boy and one Pokemon.
And you had a lot of brothers.
And there was no multiple save files, so it was a battle. And you would, when you got a hold of the device, you would delete the previous player's name, type your own, and then hide the system. Unfortunately, everybody got really good at finding it. And,
Sibling rivalry.
Could not figure out how to beat it.
Damn.
I never beat Pokemon because of that.
I don't remember Game Boy. I'm sure I remember playing it at some point. Again, I must have been really young. I've never owned any of these, but I'd play them at like friends' houses and stuff. I vaguely remember playing on that. Could not name a single game I played on there. This one I thought was awesome. I found this little reference picture because Tetris DX. That's what I played the shit out of when I don't know if I got good at Tetris, but I loved playing it.
Tetris is always a fun game. Doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah.
There's a kid who beat Tetris today.
Yeah, I heard about that. Did you hear about that? A kid beat Tetris.
Yeah, and then a news article and the
Whole bunch.
the news anchor was like, "Oh, good for him." You know, doesn't he have anything better to do?
I
Like,
hate people.
I hated
roasted
that.
the kid.
I
hate
hate
that
people.
That kid got a lot of news articles though, and a lot of people were impressed. And I was like, dude, that little kid beat it.
He beat.
Good for him.
It's like, how do you beat Tetris? That's just
So
not even a
what happened
concept
was-
anyone thinks about.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was just an endless game.
It's just what you
What
play it. You
happens
don't
is-
beat it.
What happens is there's a whole bunch of reasons why it was originally thought to be unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
Because like specific things would happen and the game would become so fast that you couldn't go to the right or left side. Eventually it would all stack in the middle really quickly and you'd lose.
Yeah.
Well, people figured out a way to go faster, and then they
Mhm.
figured out how to go faster, and naturally people just started adapting to learning how to turn the things at insane speeds and bring them to the far walls. The kid, there's a man who figured out that using an AI program, that if you do specific things, once you made it to like 100 and something, it's like 130, what would happen was if you were to do a very specific thing, like get a single for to upgrade to the 130, it would crash the game. People considered that a victory,
Yeah.
but nobody's made it to it. The little kid made it to it. It was from that point on, the further you got, it would be considered a victory. And personally, the further you get before you do that victory is much more impressive now. But what happens is they checked it again, and anytime that the game crashes, it's considered a win now.
Yeah.
But if you make it to 250, the game restarts.
So the kid made it to 250.
No, he crashed the game.
Oh, well,
That was the first one to ever crash the game.
good for him. Congratulations, kid.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Streamers were battling for that right to crash the game.
honestly,
first.
I think it's right that a younger dude
There were
beat it. That's
a lot of
just
guys. The one of the main guys that everyone suspected to be able to do it actually he barely failed, and he went and watched the little kid stream. Top competitors of that little kid,
that's sweet.
and he's like, "You can do it, yeah!"
Gotta show support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really cool. I
Now,
enjoyed it.
now that I'm looking at the design of the Game Boy Advance, it's like the GameCube's little bro. These are squares. Look,
That was more of like a.
it was like
Yeah, it was
You-
a flip up.
it was like the
Flip
flip.
phone. The
It,
flip
it
phone.
was the flip phone of game consoles. The drama was there too. Like if you were like, if say you're being bothered while you're playing the game, you just, what do you want?
Yeah, but if you slam that thing just a tad too hard, you'd snap that LCD screen inside there, and then you'd never be able to play it again because you can't repair it.
Or worse, if you snap it in the opposite direction, it just breaks in half. It wasn't like indestructible like the GameCube, but it was a tough little guy.
Handhelds are not
These
built for
three handhelds
indestructibility.
made it way further than most.
This is true.
And what I thought was interesting too is just looking at the release dates. This is an interesting microcosm of how technology kind of speeds up over the years, because it took 9 years to get from the Game Boy to Game Boy Color, which is obviously just it's colored games.
Yeah, but look how
Woo.
tiny that screen is. Still.
Still, but it only took 3 years to get from Game Boy Color to Game Boy Advance. So
Yeah.
it's literally just
All three of which. All right.
right. Yeah, they're good little handhelds. I'd fuck up a Game Boy Color.
I
Just
played Pokemon on it.
I play Tetris.
I played Dragon Ball Z on the Advance, you
That
know.
was actually pretty enjoyable.
Legacy of Goku.
Yeah. Those good things.
I
Gotta
pl-
love the Android Saga on that little 8-bit screen.
I
I
did the Boo Saga.
the Boo Saga.
This is a pretty weird one. You played as a great Sandman through the most of our part,
Yeah.
and then the boos started coming in, and you're like, "Oh no, that's actually terrifying. Why would anyone bring that?"
The game I remember, I always played, I think the Spyro and Crash crossover games. It was like Spyro Orange and Crash Purple. I'd play those ones just all the time whenever whenever I was over at my friend's house and they were like, are you playing with the Game Boy? Nah, you're good. Yes.
It's my turn to play with the Game Boy.
It is. The Nintendo DS's in the handhelds. We're getting... So, what was everyone's favorite games on the DS? I had I don't think I had the original DS, and if I did, I quickly upgraded to the DSi, which from what I can tell, there wasn't much difference. It was just kind of a cleaner interface. It's kind of a nicer, less bulky design.
DSi had a much bigger screen, though,
That too.
compared to the original.
Yeah. I played the shit out of some Nintendogs.
Nintendogs, I think everybody has
I
played.
didn't get to play these 3.
You didn't?
No, not that much.
They were fun. My favorites were Nintendogs and Mario Kart. I think I've mentioned the story before how I fucked up my Mario Kart performance for life when I got frustrated, threw my DS across the room, and broke my right trigger so I couldn't drift. Yeah, that was... You don't throw game consoles, or technology period. Just don't do it. You'll regret it.
You can always just, remap the button to something else.
I was a teenage girl. I was not doing that.
Fair. I never thought to remap anything.
At that point, I just remap it to select and just...
Fair enough. I didn't realize that was the thing. I'm like, controls are controls and you can't change them. Oh, well, I suck. Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
No, I never thought about changing the controls.
It's always the next best thing. Once you can't use a button, you're like, alright, well, what button do I not use?
Yep. That's
And
what
then
I
you're
actually
like...
did for... That's what I actually was doing with the Killer Instinct fighting game. I was like, what the... Is this button comp? I'm going to change this for my benefit.
Yep. Did that with all my stuff, too.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, here's what I'd like. We were talking a little bit before the episode, and I would love you to recount your experience with Nintendogs, Muffin.
Okay, so... When I had the DS, whether it be the DSi or the normal DS, I never bought the cartridges. As a gamer with malicious intent does, piracy has been a mainstay in my childhood as far as gaming.
Piracy is king.
Nintendo is fond of anti-piracy.
Yes, they are.
In numerous games, there's things that happen, things that don't happen. And Nintendogs is a pretty brutal anti-piracy. It allows you to play it, get some dogs, play some sort of tournaments, and...
Feed them, pet them, love them, name them.
For a little bit.
Teach them tricks, yell at them like it's Hey You Pikachu.
Yes, essentially. And then you get to walking the dog.
Which you had to do.
You had to do.
You had to.
You would walk the dog, and dogs go near the trash. You're like, hey,
yeah, hey, don't
tap. Dog goes away from the trash.
Mm-hmm.
You would not be able to tap. The dog would eat the trash.
Then I get sick.
The dog would get sick. The dog would have the shits on the screen.
Wait, for real?
Yes. Like, it would just, and, visibly shake. You can't see what's happening, but, it's clearly
yeah. You still have to clean up after your dog. I had the legal game, mind you. So you did still have to do that.
After the walking part, you would take the dog back inside. Dog is dirty. You can't clean the dog. You can't help the dog. So you're sitting here watching your dog slowly die in front of you. And eventually the dog just lays over. Screen goes black and it pulls up a little headstone. Says, the dog's name died due to piracy.
No, it didn't.
Yes.
Nintendo
In some iterations, it would just be the headstone with the dog's name on it. And then as it would play through the credits, it would be like, please buy the game.
Oh.
And anytime you would launch the game after said dog dies, immediately any dog that you get dies. You cannot take care of your dogs. Period.
That's worse than the Spyro ones. Oh my god. That's...
It's fucked. It's literally what it is.
See, I love Nintendogs. That was literally the only reason I wanted to Switch was because I couldn't have a dog and I wanted Nintendogs. And so, one year Christmas comes, yay, Nintendogs.
Yeah.
It was cute too because my sister and I each got a copy, but it was different versions. I had like the lab breeds and all that, and she had the Chihuahua and a lot of the toy breeds. And my big thing with it, I was obsessed with Twilight at the time. So I named all of my dogs after Twilight characters.
Of course you did.
And I referenced the Garrett's "Hey You Pikachu" thing earlier because it's literally what it felt like trying to teach your damn dogs how to do tricks. So my mom would hear me in my bedroom going between, because I was trying to test out the mic sensitivity. I knew enough about settings to like play with it. So she'd hear me in my room going, "Renesmee, turn over, roll over. Roll over, Renesmee!" Like, it was...
Ow.
It was bad. Then
aggression.
I wanted that dog to learn.
Oh yes, learn from the mentality of military training. Do as I say!
Pretty much. My dogs would not listen to me to save... Like, when I did, I was like, oh my god, who was recording that? Nobody ever was, obviously. But I wanted someone to be because they actually, god dang, listened.
For once.
For once. Now, I never did have the 3DS. That one I was like, what's the difference?
It's 3D, obviously.
It's 3D, but I don't know, I brushed it off. I was like, I've got my DSi. Actually, one year I actually got upgraded to the DS. It was a special edition Mario DSi XL. So it was even bigger than the regular DSi, so better screen and all that. And it was red and had like the little icons on it, like the mushroom and the star. It was really cool. I really wish I still had that. It's probably in a box somewhere at my mom's, but I want it back really bad. It was really cool.
Or sold, who knows.
Probably not. If my mom wouldn't sell it. If she got rid of it, she'd just give it to Goodwill. So I'm like, if she did do that, then some kid out there, or maybe some adult, is playing with my special edition Mario DSi XL. And if you're out there, I hope you're having fun, because that shit's awesome.
Because we know you're not going to give it back.
No, I wouldn't. Are you kidding me? If I found that at Goodwill for like $5, no, that's mine.
I would just be like, yes, the find of the century.
It would be.
And then just go, no, it's fine. Here,
No, it's cool.
$5. As soon as I'm out, like, suckers!
Well, that's what you do when you find something special. You go, oh. Then once it is procured, you're like, yes!
Praise
the gamer
Jeebus.
gods. Well, thank you guys for watching the first half of our 2-part extravaganza about consoles then and now. I hope you're enjoying it. If we missed your favorite console, just let me know. We might address it in part 2, but if we miss it in part 2, we can always, like I said earlier, address it in a future episode. So, tune in next time to see the rest of our rousing gaming discussion. Until next time, I'm Britt Rochelle.
And I'm Josh.
And I'm here at BrittRochelle.com and so many other social medias.
And I'm just here.
Woo!
More to come.
See you next time.